Hi, my name is George Andrews. I am posting an educational video in regards to concussions and BMX. A lot of awareness has come about over the last couple of weeks in regards to concussions and what kind of effects that they have on riders during their racing career and after their racing career. So I want to take this opportunity to kind of educate some riders, families, parents on what exactly happens during the process of an impact. There's kind of, the response out there right now about helmets and how much they protect your head during an impact, and how much impact that they have in response to preventing concussions. And at this time, I don't think there's been a lot of research in regards to BMX and concussions. There's been a lot of other research with NFL, with other types of sports, that obviously we see the impacts of head-on collisions and the impacts that concussions can have on your behavior, your mood, and different aspects, throughout your daily life that they can be, long term. So the first thing that we'd like to do is kind of give an egg example. If you can kind of see the egg here, this is just a regular brown egg, but what happens is this egg actually demonstrates kind of what the process looks like inside your head on an impact. So you have the outer shell, and then inside we have the yolk. Well, if we were to drop the egg, you can kind of feel the yolk hit the inner face of the shell. So drop it and you can feel it. Or if you kind of just go like that and kind of shake it around, you can feel the yolk hitting the inside of the shell. Well, if we pretend that this is your skull and the inside is your brain, we can kind of relate that to the impact that you would have in a collision. So what happens is upon impact, right here, this is the impact, this is your skull, and the inertia and the energy forces your brain into the inside of your skull, causing another impact that creates the feelings, or creates symptoms associated with concussions. So this is just a real quick, easy example that you can kind of use to demonstrate that. Obviously, this isn't, I'm not a doctor. I've done some research and I've read some research, but this is not the end-all be-all of obviously what happens. This is just a simple example of, typically, because your brain is obviously not attached to your skull, there's room and it moves freely inside there. So what happens on the impact is that it hits the inside face of your skull, which leads me to my next example of your helmet. And there's been a lot of obviously different manufacturers who have done a lot of different things to help prevent low impact and high impact feelings onto what you actually feel during and what actually moves inside your helmet on an impact. So for this example, I'm just using my Fly helmet, which is a DOT helmet that is Department of Transportation related, and it has a speed safety rating that gives your impact rating. This helmet obviously this particular helmet is carbon fiber and is one of the top of the line models that Fly makes, and is really lightweight and is really comfortable in its fit. So that's really the biggest importance with your helmet, It's obviously not going to prevent you from getting a concussion, but what it's going to prevent is any further damage to your skull, or any other injuries, neck, spinal cord, stuff like that. So what you want to do is make sure that it's fitted properly, because if it's not fitted properly, then obviously there could be even further damage. So when you put your helmet on, it's really important to make sure, number one, the cheek pads on the inside of the helmet here, if you can see my hand, are snug against your cheek. Okay? If you can move your helmet and rotate it side to side, that's not a good fitting helmet. If you can move it up and down like this, it's not a good fitting helmet, because you want the upper part of the crown of your head to fit snugly against the top and against the back. You also have to make sure that the helmet, when you have it on, is level, okay? So that it comes across your head in the back here. Some riders I see, they have their helmet tipped down like this, and you can see the back of their neck and the back of their head here. You don't want that. You want as much coverage as possible when you have your helmet on, okay? So level, make sure your cheek pads are secure against your cheek. Make sure the crown of your helmet fits snugly against the top and the back of the helmet. You don't want any wiggle room, because that's really what the helmet shifting around is really could cause further injury to your head. So just in recap, there's obviously some things that we can do to prevent any further type of damage. Is number one, if you are feeling some symptoms of concussion, seek medical attention. Make sure you follow that medical attention, and don't try to. I think a lot of BMXers, they feel fine, they run back out there on the track, and they're probably still concussed, and that's what causes further damage, and not just immediately, but later on, and as your career is over. So make sure you pay special attention to some of the symptoms and things you're feeling, whether it's a headache, whether it's nausea, dizziness, blurred vision. Make sure you get the proper medical attention to really make sure you heal appropriately, and that you're ready to go back out there without really damaging your body any further. So thank you for this opportunity. If you have any feedback, please please let me know, and always interested in hearing from other riders. Thanks a lot.